Don't link, it's your boy Ink. Welcome to the show. Guys, we're upstairs having a wonderful day on this 27th November. They were doing a movie review, but I want to show you the sunrise because it is fucking phenomenal. Don't worry, if you don't see it here, you're gonna see it on the camera because we do film it. So today we're reviewing a movie, and the movie is Brother. So the Brother is between Tobey Maguire and Natalie Portman, and I wish I knew the kid's name, but I don't. Jake Gyllenhaal. So it's actually a really sad story. It's a really, really, really sad story of how can I even put this? I'm gonna do like a little recap, not with more not spoiling the ending, but still. So it's this true story of two brothers, right? Which is Tobey Maguire. Tobey Maguire is the golden child. He's in the army. Its parents are very proud. We don't hear much about the mom, but the father we hear a lot about him, and that's not a positive things. And we have Jake Gyllenhaal, which is the younger brother who ends up in jail. So it's kind of nice because we have a preconceived notion that okay, well, this guy went to the army, right? That's a W. Well, this guy went to jail, and this is the L, right? To speak like the new generation of people. And we have Natalie Portman, who is the girlfriend of Tobey Maguire, the golden child. So we have the fuck ups, which is Jake Gyllenhaal character, get out of jail, right? And we heard that his brother dies, and he wants to help Natalie Portman because he sees that she's suffering, and then by helping her, they start falling in love, right? What's said before that is we believe that Tobey Maguire is dead, so that has to do a lot with the story, because it's a story of two brothers, and the story in itself, was the movie good? It was okay. It wasn't great, but the concept behind it is actually pretty good. So we think that the husband is dead, and the two that are suffering the most get together. Now, technically speaking, I'm not. It's tough because. Am I saying that you should cheat? No. Am I saying that I kind of understand it? Yes. Am I going to say that I saw that before? Absolutely. It's very common, very very common for people that are suffering the same. They lost, for example, right? You got a chick. They lost somebody that was close to them. It's very common for them to get together because they're sharing that pain. They're sharing that mourning. Mourning is the right word. It's quite normal. Plus, the character of Jake is actually a really good character. I really like the character of Jake. The Jake character is the character that's a fuck up, but when you see that they need him, he's there for them. When you see that the kids need them, he's acting like a father figure, which is really cool. So he ends up cheating, and then Tobey Maguire come back, and you're like, okay, well, why did you cheat? And it sucks because the very last like 20 minutes, 30 minutes, Tobey Maguire come back, and it's like, okay, well, we got attached to the character of the brother and the girlfriend together, and you're like, oh, dude, what's gonna happen now? See, and the movie in itself, it's not so much about. See, a lot of people are gonna say, okay, well, this guy sacrificed his life. He sacrificed his life for his country, and he got betrayed. What? It's the suffering, but yes, the suffering is actually really good. The pain that you feel, you really believe in it. The pain, you really believe in. He went through all of that, thinking that he had a chance. He had a wife home. He had a family home. And no, he didn't have it when he came back, But the movie in itself is absolutely more complex than that. It's not just about, oh, well, he came back and then they kind of moved on. The movie in itself is about two brothers that were always compared. You can see at the first one of the first scene, they're constantly compared. Like, oh, you tell the guy who went to jail, why aren't you like your brother? Your brother's a fighter. Why can't you do that? And then Toby is like, he's understanding about Jake Gyllenhaal pressure, but the father put a lot of pressure on him, and it's just because they put, like, if you had a brother or a sister possibly within that position, the parents are gonna be like, oh, this is my most successful child, right? They love every single child, but this is my most successful child, and we often see their perception of the child that is neglected or said, hey, you're not as good as your brother, but we don't see or we don't realize how much the other character is like, hey, don't talk to him like that, right? I didn't succeed for him. I didn't succeed for you to put it in his face, kind of things. What's actually really sad is that I think Kobe suffered from that too. And then the father actually puts a lot of pressure. So there's this almost animosity between the two brothers because again they're constantly compared. Jake wished that Jake wished that he wasn't compared to his brother, and to me, isn't really a victim, so he doesn't have much to say. You feel bad for Jake, but he understands where his father coming from. And I think his father is a lot for this. So you see, the story, which is bad, the reason why it's bad is you could, if you were a Tobey Maguire character, you could believe that your brother was always jealous of you, right? And to the degree, you'd be right. You'd be right into thinking that, okay, well, Jake is jealous. Because again, he was constantly compared. It was always the lesser child, right? But then you realize that if Tobey Maguire thinks that it's jealousy, he could have think that, okay, Jake went after his girlfriend, after his wife, just because he was jealous. But then you realize that, no, there's a lot of story. There's another story. Everybody was broken up by him being dead. And what I actually really like is Natalie Portman's character. So the Natalie Portman character is, I don't know, I look at Natalie Portman, her character is kind of, not necessarily boring, but it's a bit lacking. So why I'm saying that it's a bit lacking is, you literally have this character that says, I'm in pain, and I'm not trying to forget him, right? But then she gives up on the pain, and you're like, okay, well, she kind of fucked up, right? She did fuck up. Although, did she fuck up? She thought he was dead? I don't know. But then you realize that trauma between the two brothers was caused, and that's my perception. I don't think the only problem was the father. I think there was a lot, you know? See, for example, Jake, when he get out of prison, right? His brother tells him, yo, don't rob the place. And it's a joke, but at the same time, it's like, that's how you think about me, you know? Everybody thinks that Jake is a fuck up. Now, ultimately speaking, we're seeing that a lot. When the brother dies, Jake character starts getting drunk way more often. And then often he's had a problem with the police, has a problem with the bar owner. And he's like, okay, well, fuck. He's a fuck up, right? But, so, you see, it's complicated because is the character of Jake a fuck up because we expect him to be a fuck up. If I tell you, right? If I tell you, oh, you're a fuck up, you're a fuck up, you're a fuck up, you're a fuck up, you start believing in it and yourself being a fuck up. Because you start believing in yourself and being a fuck up, you have the placebo effect. Placebo effect, once again, being, okay, well, I'm sick. I don't know if I'm sick, but I feel sick, so I must be sick. No, it's all up in here, right? So because Jake started to feel like a fuck up, he acts like a fuck up, right? Because he acts like a fuck up, it gets closer to the white. And I think Jake is a good character because when he fucks up, his sister-in-law is there to pick up the pieces. And then he realizes that no, she's suffering as much as I do. The reality is she's taking care of the kids, you know. But it sucks. It sucks because the whole time you can tell I like the character of Jake a bit more. I don't believe the character of Toby is wrong to say. The character of Toby is clearly affected mentally speaking. There's a scene where he's in his bed and he doesn't want to get up, and his kids are telling him, "Yo, get up, get up, get up, get up," and he doesn't want to get up, and you can tell that he's affected. Maybe he's tired, maybe he's depressed. I don't want to throw in the PTSD card because I think the PTSD card, although I'm Canadian, so it's different, right? All respect to veteran, all respect to them. All respect to ex-fighter, to fighter, to soldier, to Navy, to the Marines currently. But I do think that the card of the PTSD is thrown around very, very carelessly. And I think it's a bad thing because I believe that if a person has PTSD, the fact that so many people are able to being called, yo, you got PTSD, you're good, right? I think that people are truly suffering from that. It's a bit too easy. See, I was born in the 90s. I can actually talk about this. I was born in the 90s where ADHD wasn't something that was very common. And then they started prescribing. And nowadays you see ADHD. It's not normal, the growth rate, right? So, me being a child, I needed that medication. I needed that special care, you know? When I see other people that are having this, I'm not so much necessarily saying, yo, you don't have ADHD, don't fake it. But I'm more so like, there's so many people that have ADHD that when we hear about that, we're like, oh, another one. You know, there's this common knowledge, there's this common misconception or conception, I guess. Yeah, so I don't want to throw away the word PTSD freely, but there's a possibility, you know. And again, it's you. The movie is, I wouldn't say it's misleading, right? But it's kind of misleading. So you see the character of Tobey Maguire suffering a lot, being tortured, being almost in a position of a hostage, right, for a long period of time. That could affect him. But we all have a way to deal with situation. I know it's horrible, but that doesn't mean he has PTSD automatically, right? And I think we're wrong for saying that. I think we're wrong for assuming that he has. Now, if you were saying in the movie like, "Oh, you have been may suffer from PTSD," I would have believed it, but he didn't, right? That's pretty much it. Anyway, I love you. Take it easy. Peace.